my name is Abraham Great and welcome to this platform. Here you will learn tips that will help you connect the dots. This dot has the proclivity to move you into action. You're gonna have to do something about it, take a positive move. And one of the things that you will do is at least watch this video till the end. Also subscribe for more videos from Abraham Great or check me out on www.abrahamgreat.com. My social media handles are also there. You can follow me and I'd like to hear from you. Now, let me talk about this subject, branding and identity, or identity and branding. Now, there are the two essential things that determines your productivity, your profitability, your marketability. Now, very quickly, your identity is who you are. Your identity is simply who you are. If you are a male, you are black, like in my case. I'm black. I always joke that I'm darker than my age, but I love my color. No, that is your identity. My identity is determined by a number of factors. Number one is determined by my parents. My identity is also dictated and shaped by the environment that I grew up in. My identity is also formed by my beliefs, my religious beliefs, my philosophy about life, my paradigm about life. Those forms my identity. So when you mention a few people, you know them by their identity. If I mention the name now, Tony Blair, what comes to your mind is politics. When I mention the name right now, JJ Okocha, his identity is football or sport. When I mention the name right now, Fela Kuti, you know, the first thing that comes to your mind was a musician. And the next thing that comes to your mind is a radical, you know, an activist. You know, so everybody has an identity. Some people have an identity for laziness. Some people have an identity for talkativeness. Some people have identity for resilience, identity for so values that you have also developed in your life can become issues or things that forms your identity. Other things that can determine your identity or form your identity is your educational level. You know, in a family, if you all of a sudden dropped out of school and everybody in your family gets up to university degree, but you didn't continue from primary school or secondary school, you have an identity as being uneducated among your friends or among your family. It's an identity. People, it just sticks with you. There are so many other negative things that unfortunately forms people's identity. Sometimes one negative event in people's life can become an identity, where maybe when the person was young they lied about something. It might just be that one time, or it's not an habit, but people who met them for the first time just form that his identity is a liar. Or maybe you did something wrong and people can actually label you by that thing for the rest of your life. Your identity, however, is who you really are, a sum total of almost everything that I've just said to you right now. Now, the real truth is this, and I want you to note this very, very carefully. Most people who claim to know you don't really know you. And a lot more people that you will ever interact with in life really do not know you. You have a good identity, you are a good person, but people don't know. Your identity is who you are. But however, you want to take your identity, you want to package your identity, you want to refine your identity, you want to prune your identity, you want to take your identity to make it a better one, and you package it. Now, I'll give you this. If I make bread, the identity of the bread is bread. Is that correct? That is bread. Now, the ingredients that makes up the bread might be the same thing as the ingredient that make up the other bread. But what will determine how profitable, how viable, how productive the identity of that bread is will be determined on its packaging. Now, in the world we live today, there are people who specialize in branding anything that they can even brand a bad identity. Let me tell you, some leaders have been presented to us in this world today who have become governors, commissioners, or even president of nation. Very bad people, but packaged together as good people, and they won election. Because you got to understand the next thing, which is branding. Your branding is other people's perception about you. Remember I said identity is who you are. But because not the whole world, except your family and people that love you, that really know your identity, the rest of the people are only going to form a perception about you. Now, the perception that people form about you is your branding. Guess what? A lot of the time, it's harder to work on your identity than it is to work on your branding. Women are specialists in this. You can see a woman with a rough face. All of a sudden, she rebrand that by having makeup. And they can have a makeup that a ugly looking person can actually become extremely beautiful and desirable. That is branding. That is branding. So if I make the bread, and I've had this experience. My mom growing up used to sell bread, and she makes bread. She was a bread maker. She'll work in a bakery and have bread to serve a whole constituent. But as I grew up, I live in an area, and in that area, there was a bread. This particular bread, people, if you're born in Lagos, or anyone that have ever been to Lagos, Nigeria, that's where I grew up. I grew up around a place called Ikeja, Lagos, which is the center of Lagos itself. And so at this time, I don't know how far it is true, but what I heard at the time that the bakery actually belongs to ex-basketballer in America, in NBA basketballer, Akeem Olajuwon. Maybe his family was running the bakery around Allen Avenue at the time in Lagos. People will queue cars, top cars, brand new cars, very rich people, what do you call it? Middle class people, even poor people will queue just to buy this bread. And when this bread is about to finish, people will fight. And so I asked myself, why is my mom's bread not this sought after? Why do my mom will have to get like different people wake up, and these people will have to hawk a bread or go and distribute a bread into different parts? So we may distribute in a day maybe 2,000 bread or 3,000 bread. I can't remember, I was young. But at this time when I grew up, the people come seeking for this bread. Guess what is different? The difference is the same ingredient but different packaging. So this particular bread that everybody wants had some, first of all, the wrap, the packaging. Secondly, the building where it is sold is a very expensive, is a prime location in the city. I will have to wake up and walk to it's not far from my house, from where I live at the time, but people will seek after this bread because it's been branded. So the same vein, you got to understand that whilst you are branding yourself, you can actually improve your identity, because the process of packaging itself add more value to you. But you've got to understand that when you comes to the level of branding, you are becoming professional. You are acting professionally. Your brand, your identity might be good, but no matter how good a product or service is, if it is not marketed, then it is useless. Your message might be wonderful, but unless, so why am I doing this video? Do I just not have time? You see, look at my name. My name is fantastic. I have a wonderful name. Growing up, people, oh, your name is Abraham Great. Oh yes, my name is Abraham Great. But some people have told me that you are just so good. You are eloquent. You are this. And right now I write books. I'm on political debate, business debate on TV and what have you. But then I have products on my website that I want you to check out. I have products on immigration. I have products on destiny. I have books that I've written. But how will I? This is part of branding. Because the more I show myself in your face, the more you will know that there is a name called Abraham Great. So some of the reason why I appear on TV is because I want more people to know me. Sometimes I will send a tweet and I will sponsor it. And people say, why did you have to sponsor this? It's because I want the name Abraham Great to stick in your head. I want you to know me. The more people that know who I am, the more people I can market my product or service or my gospel to. So you got to understand and master that branding is other people's perception about you. While it is tough to change your identity, it is easier to rebrand yourself. So look at this right now. Normally before I started doing so much video, I would live almost every day of my life on tie. But I realized that, look, if I turn this way, you realize that I'm beginning to have some white hairs and stuff. I am. In few days, I'll be 44 years old. But I want to connect with the Generation Z, the Generation X, the Generation O. I want to relate with people. And somebody 2 years ago met me, said, look, sir, you dress too serious. Guess what? Calm down a little bit. Let's change your look. Actually, I went back to school to get another degree and eventually a master's. So I met people that I'm 20, 25 years older than. And some of them begin to attend my meetings, my programs. Some of them come to the religious church that I pastor. And some of them, this particular lady, Ife, she might be watching this at any point, with her boyfriend at the time, they came together with a written document. And guess what? They actually brand how I should be dressing to me. So the first thing that left me was my tie. I still wear ties, of course, but the first thing that left is that I begin to dress in a different way. And then I realized it's actually simple. So I get some of this shirt from yes, I like quality stuff, but I just buy them simple, from a place. And I realized that even I feel a little bit is part of branding. I might get to another age in life where people, I sit down again with a publicist to say, you know what, let's rebrand you. Recently, I was working with a team of people who were working on a certain product and lines of business for me. And they came out and said, sir, we don't want you to wear this color. We don't want you to wear that color. That is part of your branding. I'm still working on part of my branding. Perhaps you notice some of my elocution, maybe some of my words is still sounding a little bit I'm from a part of Africa or a part of Nigeria called Ibadan. I never live there. I never grow there. But part of my identity is the fact that that part of the country is a little bit inside of me. So there are certain words that I pronounce even though I never live there. In that part of the world, it's called Ibadan. My dad is from Ibadan or from Oyo State in Nigeria. When they want to say, let's say chicken, they say sicken. When they want to say is a cushion chair, they say sincere. I don't have all of that in me, but there's a little bit of attribute because my identity is from my lineage. You got to realize all of those things, and I can see it by getting a professional elocutionist, is that what you call them, who can help me or who are helping me. I've sat in front of people who have helped me to improve my English writing, in listening and capability. The same way you can improve your branding by going to work and see, how do I rebrand myself? Go back on your social media pages and begin to look. Some pictures probably don't fit you any longer. Remove them. Replace it with how do you want people to perceive you? Rebrand yourself that way. It is working. For more videos, please click on the subscribe button. It is working.